Hi guys! For this week's learning and teaching interaction, I thought that it would be, kind of fun and beneficial for me to go over some of the codes of ethics that stuck out to me. The first one that stuck out was the one that says, I will help parents and other family members recognize their strengths and work with them to set goals for themselves, their children, and others. The reason why this stuck out to me was because I feel that one of my talents is to find the good in people, and I felt like this code would really allow me to connect with people and to look at them and say, this is what I think you'd be good at. This is what I think you could work more on, and this is how maybe we could work for change. And I also thought that where this one is concerned with changing and setting goals, that sometimes change can be daunting, that we think maybe we can't change, or that change is too hard, and that we won't be able to do it. And I think that part of being a good family life educator is helping people understand that they're strong enough to make those changes, and that they have the power to change their lives by implementing maybe the knowledge that we give them. The next thing I wanted to talk about talks about further learning, and so I'll just go through each of the three that stuck out to me that kind of support that. So I will support diverse family values by acknowledging and examining parenting practices that support healthy family relationships. This semester, my partner and I are doing intercultural relationship workshops. And so I guess my mindset is already on like diversity and looking for things that other cultures can offer. And so if we're looking at parenting practices, that gives us a really unique view of a culture. And I think that good things, good practices can be found anywhere. And so I would imagine that as a family life educator, we get a lot of maybe underserved and underdeveloped families and people who maybe are minorities, and it would be important for me as an educator to look and say, I recognize how you're doing things, and I think that what you've got going is more or less good. The next one is, I will support the ongoing development of a knowledge base that guides us towards ethical and effective practice. When I read this, it made me think of looking at more research and maybe even doing our own studies so that we could gather that research. I think research is really important in becoming a good family life educator, because research is always up and coming. It's always changing. There's always something that it can offer. It's always looking to find the truth, and we as family life educators should be on top of that material and offering what's new and most applicable to families in our day. The last one is, I will be committed to ongoing professional development to enhance our knowledge and skills. This one made me think of a professor friend of mine on campus who has her PhD, and she's doing some extra stuff to kind of widen her skills base and her knowledge base. And I thought it was really interesting that a family life education or educator should continue to do that. They should look to further their education, maybe go on for a master's or a PhD, to look for side classes that are offered maybe on more specific things, like just how to help parents parent better, or ways that we can strengthen marriages as family life educators. Doing things like that could be really useful for an FLE educator because it's our job to stay on top of things, and it's our job to better ourselves as an example for those that we teach. Another thing that I thought of that could go with that was attending conferences. Some of my professors this semester have gone to conferences and spoken at conferences, and that's really impressive to me. I know from personal experience that attending conferences can be really useful in maintaining your knowledge base. My dad is a doctor, and every year he has to go to a certain number of conferences that offer a number of credits so that he can kind of remain a doctor. And I see the usefulness in gaining that education and continuing to learn what we need to learn. I have two more. The next one is, I will define our role as parents and family life educators and practice within our level of competence. So this is talking about as a group, maybe as an office that offers the family life education. And I thought that it was very good that they were saying that they'd never go over their level of competence, because the last thing we need to do is lead people astray. And if we're saying things to them that they don't quite understand, then it's not going to be helpful. And if we don't know what we're talking about, we should never guess, because these people need the truth. It's their lives that we're dealing with. It's how they're strengthening their families. And if we don't know what we're talking about and we lead them astray, we're messing with their family. And then the last one was, I will follow the mandatory reporting of abusive family behavior in a respectful and prudent way. And the reason why I included this one is because the wording kind of puzzles me. I don't see how we would do it respectfully and prudently. I guess maybe we have to inform the family that we're going to have to report the behaviors, and maybe that's when we would have to be respectful. And perhaps the prudence would come from not sharing what we know with others, other than obviously the people that we need to report it to, like the police. But yeah, the wording in this one, it kind of confuses me, and that's why I wanted to include it. But those are the 6 that stuck out to me, and I hope that you learned something. Thanks.